Goodness, where is that boy? Silas didn't even bother showing up for lunch.
I don't know, but he sure missed out. I forgot how good the cooking was back here at home. Wasn't it good, Melmira? Lilybet and Silas have sure been living it up good in Mother's house, huh?
I think what Melissa is trying to say is thank you for lunch, sister. It was very good indeed. Well, I'm just relieved you all liked it. I worked hard creating today's menu, and Bologna oversaw the kitchen servants herself. You flatter me, my lady.
Reiner, you've been unusually quiet, even for you. Didn't you enjoy the meal too?
Yes, mistress.
But you barely ate anything at all. Aren't you still hungry?
No, mistress.
Well, did you have a favorite? I know you like sweets.
No, mistress.
Are you sure you don't want seconds? You are a big, strong boy after all.
Yes, mistress.
Ugh. Are the only things you know how to say yes, mistress, and no, mistress?
No, mistress.
Ah!
Melissa, leave Reiner alone. He's always quiet. Besides, he snacked on our way here this morning on the cookies he bought in town.
Reiner had cookies?
Yes, they were quite good.
What? How is it that you shared cookies with our servants and I didn't get any?
Quite the rambunctious pair, aren't they, my lady? Yes. Although they are twins, Melissa and Melmira are polar opposites, and despite being the eldest, they never act like it. Honestly, even I had forgotten what they were like. It's been so long since I left the castle to wander the human world in search of what they call adventure. Now that we're all back together, I must admit that a part of me actually missed them.
Enough of this.
Master?
I did not return to this husk of a cradle in order to chat about brunch. Are we here to convene a family summit or not? Wolf. Me? It is your job to know where your master is it not? So where is he? About that. Well, I'm afraid that I do not know where Master Silas is.
Surely he must still be within the castle, yes? When Lady Volgenheim's servant returned from looking for him, she reported that all the carriages and horses were still present. Right, Miss Four?
Go ahead, Four.
Yes, and I found no traces of the footsteps that were not from fellow servants either.
A head servant who cannot even find his own master. Pathetic.
Carlen, is it possible that Silas is in his office attending to some of his personal matters that had piled up while he was away?
I'm afraid not. I checked there as well, to no avail.
Strange.
So be it. If our dear baby brother cannot be bothered to attend the summit himself, then we will simply have to begin without him. Well, Mother?
I'm afraid that Crolian is right. We do not have the luxury of waiting right now. Let us convene the third Volgenheim family summit. All present, please make yourselves known.
Melissa Messis Volgenheim.
And Melmira Vanatoris Volgenheim.
Reiner de Primus, present, my lady. Crolian Nova Volgenheim.
And Christine de Tertius, present, my lady.
Lilybet Dimidium Volgenheim. And Bologna de Quartus, present, my lady.
Carlen de Quintus. I will be sitting in for Silas Sanguinem Volgenheim. Present, my lady.
For de Originus. Present. And I, Lady Ilsinia Estrella Nicolette Volgenheim, will preside over this third family summit. Thank you for. You are excused. Proceed with my instructions as given.
Yes, my lady.
Before we begin, I would like to thank all of my children for making the long journey back home to be here, and for waiting so patiently for me while I attended Silas's business trip with him. To be honest, I did not attend the trip with him purely out of desire for some sort of vacation. The trip was merely a means for me to confirm something once and for all before I began this summit. You see, for as long as we vampires have existed, we've been forced to dwell in darkness, to hide away from prying eyes of humanity ever since the birth of the first 9. Today, although our numbers have greatly dwindled, we vampires have still held strong against the filthy livestock that would seek to annihilate us. As one of the last noble houses of our kind, it is our responsibility to ensure that our bloodline endures for a pure and untainted future for all vampire kind. Crolian? I'm sorry, my son. Was something I said amusing?
In fact, Mother, I found your quaint little speech to be quite amusing indeed. I can tell that you must have put a lot of thought into it. You preach of preserving the purity of the vampire bloodlines, yet your actions suggest otherwise.
I'm afraid I don't follow your meaning, my son.
Is that so? Then allow me to elucidate you, Mother. While you were away with Silas enjoying the rain, I decided to take matters into my own hands. It had always rubbed me the wrong way that you'd brought so much luggage with you for a mere family summit. After all, you left the castle to Silas and Lilibet. You don't really live here anymore, so why bring so many heavy trunks with you? On top of that, you claimed that this summit was of utmost importance, but immediately left to attend a little vacation with dear Silas. None of it sat right with me. So I helped myself to a peek inside of your precious little trunks, and what I found was very, very interesting. Christine, beakers, test tubes, vials, and whole bags of blood and liquids, needles, petri dishes, medical instruments, leather shackles, blindfolds, and gags, the kind used to restrain a patient of some sort. But my favorite item by far was this journal.
Crolian, choose your next words carefully. You risk speaking of things that you know nothing about.
Oh, I'm afraid that I do know, Mother. All thanks to you and this little diary of yours. You placed a blood magic lock on it to ensure no one could ever open it, but you failed to consider what would happen if one of your own offspring tried to. Inside, I found extensive notes on experiments that our dear Mother has been conducting in secret at one of her little hideouts. Mother doesn't want to control the humans. She wants to convert them. She's trying to find a way to turn humans into vampires.
It can't be true.
What is this? Forgive me, but surely you must be mistaken, Master Crolian. Everyone knows that vampires cannot be made. They are only born, with the only exception to this being the 9, who were given the gift of phantasmagoria by the One, who resides in the shadow of the world. How could something like this even be possible today?
Mother, is this true?
Yes, my children. I'm afraid that it is. But, Mother, how? Why? My dear children, what I'm about to tell you all, I only say after centuries of hard work, failure, and exploring every option we have until none were left. The gradual decay of our race has not been due to the expansion of humanity's borders, or the incessant power struggle amongst ourselves. For the past 300 years, we have been slowly hunted by an organization that calls themselves the Order of Dawn. At first, they started out as a mere nuisance, just another group of livestock with torches and pitchforks nipping at our coattails. But, over the past 100 years, their numbers and influence has grown exponentially. The strongest among them are 10 generals, known as the Zainstern. By their hand, the Order of Dawn has exterminated the Caligong family of the Purple Mountains, the Tellaraya family of the Southern Barrens, the Demorro family of the Diamond Coast, the Reinhargen family of the far White North, and even the Zila Rouge family of the Eastern Archipelago. All of them at the hands of the Zainstern.
But, Mother, how could that be possible? Even with an army, it's inconceivable that a human would have the power to take down even a single member of our kind, let alone an entire family.
You are correct, my daughter, but I'm afraid that these Zainstern are not regular humans. Their leader, a man named Harkin, seems capable of bestowing on them a power unlike anything I've ever seen. Thanks to this man, his Zainstern each possess a singular ability on par with our Celine's inheritance. But instead of drawing their power from the moon, they receive theirs from the sun.
How could a simple human possess this kind of ability? There haven't been spellcasters in ages, not since the days of the first children, when the sun and moon were still called Helios and Selene.
I'm afraid that I know not. But if my suspicions are correct, we may be the very last vampire family left on all of Eden. In fact, I have good reason to believe that this Harkin individual may be saving us for last.
What? Why? What could this Harkin person want so badly with us?
At this time, his motives are still unclear to me. That was all of the information I was able to get out of their scout I captured before she perished. No doubt you saw the remains of her cloak in one of my trunks, Prolian.
The blood-stained white cloak.
Yes. You see, that was not the only encounter I've had with this Order of Dawn as well. In truth, they've been tracking me for nearly 50 years. Why do you think I've been so vehement about traveling, my children, never once returning home to visit? I have done so to keep you all safe. During my trip with your youngest brother, I was able to confirm that their eyes lie specifically on me and not our family as a whole. Whatever it is that they want with my family, it has something to do with me specifically. I've been successful in giving them the runaround thus far, and believe they may not be too far behind me now, judging by the placement of their scouts, which is why I've decided to call this summit. I have a plan to confront this Order of Dawn, but in order to do it, we will need to overcome our greatest weakness: numbers. That has always been the weakness of us vampires. The forces that conspire against us have always outnumbered us, and if the Order of Dawn commands an army, then we shall simply have to amass our own. Over the past 2 decades, I have worked tirelessly on developing a method to transform humans into vampires, or at least something like us. First, a concoction of herbs is administered to the subject in order to greatly inhibit the immune system. I've found that, although risky, this greatly enhances the chance of success. After that, a series of blood transfusions containing pure vampire blood instigates a change at a cellular level. After about a week, the subject's biology changes completely, mirroring that of a true vampire, inside and out. I can't believe it. Neither could I when I first succeeded. However, the procedure does not come without its risks. The chances of success are currently only about 14%, and if not fed immediately, the new vampire can die of starvation in a matter of minutes. On top of that, the subject never develops a Selene's inheritance, and so far, every one of my successful test subjects have fallen prey to some sort of psychosis, which drives them to a deranged animalistic state in roughly 2 months. Every single time, I am missing some sort of catalyst, an X factor, to prevent this. I have a theory, but I will need assistance. This is why I chose to convene the summit, my children, so that I can warn you of the impending danger and to ask for your help in stopping it. Believe me, I have examined every possible outcome, and this is the only way. Mother, all of this sounds, well, frankly, it sounds insane. But if not even you, an expert in alchemy, chemistry, and medicine, with experience that stems back over 1,000 years, couldn't find this catalyst, then what makes you think we can? I'm so happy you asked, my daughter. You see, I have reason to believe that this catalyst can be found within a subject that has undergone very specific experiences. Consider it a mental anchor formed out of an intense bond and feeling, strong enough to resist the tug of this psychosis, if you will. This is where you come in, Lilybet. You see, I already... just in time. Oh, how curious. I see. Lilybet, where is she, dear?
What? Where is... who?
Mother. Oh, please, dear daughter. Let us dispense of all this pageantry. Where is the human? Silas's little toy. Where have you hidden her? Mother, surely you jest. There are no humans in the castle besides the blood dolls. Honestly, the idea of some lowly human girl running around the castle Did you really think that you could keep such a secret from me in my own home? No, Mother,
Ooh, a human in the castle? How exciting. Very scandalous.
I've known about the existence of this girl since before my first visit back home. I have eyes and ears everywhere, my dear. The only reason Silas's little romance has continued on as long as it has is because I allowed it to. Everything in this castle happens because I allow it to, my dear. At first, I thought I would simply allow Silas to amuse himself with this little plaything of his before things got too serious. It wouldn't be the first time he'd taken an unnatural interest in one of the livestock, after all. But then I realized something. That this girl may just be the perfect test subject for my experiment. So, I allowed their romance to blossom and flourished it like a budding flower. And now the time has come to officially pluck her. Now, I have been kind to you so far, Lilibet, because you've made me so proud today with this sudden change in character. But I will not ask nicely twice. Tell me where the little human girl is, or I will have my head servant tear the castle apart until she finds her. You know what 4 is capable of, after all, don't you? She may look small and meek, but don't let this little hair fool you. Remember what she did to your last head servant? Gylio was his name? Oh, Mother, please, you have to believe me. If the human is not in her room, then I have no idea where she could be. I would never go this far as to hide something from you. I swear. Crolian, I understand you and your servant have gotten wrapped up in your brother's little game as well. Where's the girl?
Like I keep up with anything brother does. How should I know?
Oh, then shall I ask your head servant? I understand that she spent a lot of time with the human girl as well, and I know just how obedient Christine is when pain is applied.
I'd like to see you try, Mother.
Yes. Maybe another time, my son. And how about you, Wolf? Surely you know the whereabouts of my son and his little lover. After all, you've been one of the primary orchestrators of this little ruse against me. Don't worry. I understand that you were only doing your duty and following my son's orders. Because of your loyalty, if you tell me the truth, I'll only take a single limb as punishment.
My lady, I swear on my honor that I know nothing of the whereabouts of my master, nor the human at this moment. I am afraid that I have failed in my duty as a head servant to this family.
So you have lost your master and this girl? Very well, then. We will continue this summit when I return. None of you are to leave. 4.
Yes, my lady.
Come. I will simply have to look for this little girl.
What was that?
No, it can't be.
My lady, an explosion has just destroyed the grand foyer. We are under assault by men and women in white uniforms. Mother, what is happening? Talk to us.
They're already here.